Hey everybody, today is Tuesday and it is fall and it's time for me to get out my scarves and I have my windy wrap on. I was excited. My husband laughed at me this morning when I was tying my scarf. He said, "Will you show me how to tie that scarf?" For those of you that are new to our class, the way that I'm tying my scarf has become wildly popular across America, believe it or not. And somebody affectionately called it the windy wrap, and that's, everybody else can fill you in if you have questions about it. Anyways, today's story or today's reading, when we read the portions of the story about the healings, I never noticed some things in today's story. And I was really, I was taken aback by them. Seeing the word amazed, that God was amazed at the faith of the Roman soldier, Roman officer, which is amazing to me that he called him Lord, that the officer called Jesus Lord. And God was amazed there, and I'd seen that before. But I guess I never realized that in this healing and the healing of the widow's son, neither the officer nor the mother, the widow, the lady, asked God to heal. In fact, the mother and Jesus never had any dialogue whatsoever. She did it. There's not even a record of her even saying thank you. I'm quite sure that she did, I would think, but it wasn't recorded here, which shows to me that that was not something that God felt like he needed to include in the story, which is fine. But I never noticed. Maxie, get in. I never noticed that neither of these asked for healing. All the soldiers said, or officers said, was that my young servant lies in the bed paralyzed and is in terrible pain. And Jesus says, "I'll come and heal him." And then he says, "Just say the word." And that is when Jesus says that he was amazed by that. So I saw Jesus, of course, being amazed in the healing of the officer. But I never noticed that the conversation never happened. There was no conversation between the mother and Jesus, and that his heart overflowed with compassion. Sometimes it's what we don't say. God sees and hears us even when we cannot utter a word. I can only imagine the grief of the mother. And the fact that who knows, maybe she had already prayed for healing and it hadn't come. Maybe the son's death was quick and unexpected. Regardless of how the death occurred, it was her little boy. So that story moves me because even when she could not say a word and was in complete mourning, God was moved at her pain and her sorrow. And I just feel like today that we need to remember that God knows our heart. And when we can't even utter a word, it's okay. He instructed us yesterday about not praying like the Pharisees do. And he says, don't babble on as people of other religions do. They think their prayers are answered merely by repeating the words again and again. Don't be like them. He says to go into your private place and close the door behind you. Your Father who sees everything will reward you. And we don't know what that reward is. We like to think we know what reward is in our finite thinking. So I just want to encourage us today, just that, and I'm learning this, that my quiet times right now are very quiet. And there's a lot going on, and many days I don't have a lot to say, and I have felt bad about that. But I realize through this and through some other things that have been happening in my life that I don't have to always fill my quiet times with God with words, because He sees my heart and He knows my heart. So I don't have to say a word. And He knows everything that I'm thinking, everything that I'm feeling, and has compassion towards me. And the other thing I wanted to just really quickly focus on before we close out is Matthew 11:25 and 26, the prayer that Jesus prayed at Thanksgiving. And what caught me today afresh was the fact that he says, "Oh Father, Lord of heaven and earth, thank you for hiding these things which involve judgment and healing and the things that he was talking about, but thank you for hiding these things from those who think themselves wise and clever, and for revealing them to the childlike." He's going to hide things from those who think they are wise and clever. And things are revealed to those who have a childlike faith. So for me, it just challenged me just to keep that. My daddy says so. My daddy knows all. And I'm going to do what my daddy says. A simple childlike faith. So I was challenged today and encouraged as well to know that I don't have to say anything. And this was just confirmation for me that it is okay that I sit quiet and don't say a word, because He knows my heart. And you know what? He knows yours too. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow face to face.